Jonesboro police officer fired after he was caught on camera in his squad car beating an inmate.
So when I die in the jail, it's y'all's fault. Huh?
Okay.
You don't care. Huh?
Not really, no.
You're gonna let me die in jail.
Welcome back to the LackLuster channel. Back in October, I reported on an interaction featuring Officer Joseph Harris, otherwise known as Tucker of the Jonesboro Police Department. For reference, here's a portion of that incident. A video from June of 2022 shows the events that took place outside of a popular nightclub, Midnight Rodeo, in Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Why y'all arresting me?
Why are you arresting me? It's nobody's business. It's
No, it ain't. You want to go to jail?
Sir,
No, we don't want to go.
Okay, because he's 18 years old. Are you his mom or daddy?
Nope.
Any of y'all?
No,
then it ain't your business. It don't matter. He's over 18. He's a big boy.
Where are they taking him right now?
Big boy. None of your business.
Where are they taking him right
None of your
now?
business.
Hey,
None of your business.
What does he
None of
do?
your
What
business.
did he do though? We want to know what he did. We want to know what he did. We want to know why.
So we can't know what happened?
Why?
Where's he headed right now?
For
what?
Put your fucking hands behind.
For daring to yet again ask a question that Officer Harris had proclaimed numerous times was none of this young man's business, he is picked up and slammed to the ground by a man nearly twice his size and placed under arrest. Replaying the audio shows that Officer Harris tells the man, "You can read the report,"
We want to know what he did.
to which the man replies, "All right, bet," as Officer Harris turns to walk away.
We want to know what he did. We want to know why.
So
The man's voice can be heard through the chatter of the crowd, but it is unclear what exactly he said.
so we can't know what happened?
Why?
Where's he headed right now?
What we do know is that sticks and stones will break your bones, and so will Officer Harris if you hurt his feelings. In his report, Officer Harris writes that he had to take his attention off the first arrestee because Nick was being too loud, but the video shows that the first arrestee was complying with the single officer, handling him as he was being led to a patrol car.
It's nobody's business.
It's
He's
our
18. No, it ain't.
You want to go to jail? No, we don't want to go.
Okay.
The report continues to say that he kept telling Nick that it was none of his business and that he needed to walk away. That first portion of his statement is incorrect, and upon further review, the second portion is a lie. Nick was not told to leave the incident location at any point of the video prior to this arrest. The officer further embellished his report by claiming that the entire time he spent screeching at Nick, he was having to take his eyes off the guy that wasn't there anymore, and that a crowd was now forming. But the reason that they were there in the first place was because there was already a crowd. It had already been formed. Next, he writes that he informed Nick to place his hands behind his back, and that when he grabbed Nick, he tried to pull away, and so he took Nick to the ground.
We want to know what he did. We want to know why.
So we can't know what happened?
Why?
Where's he headed right now?
But when played frame by frame, it's clear that Nick's arms are limp and at his sides, and that his movements were forced by Officer Harris. Nick didn't resist arrest, but if he did, what exactly was he under arrest for? Officer Harris continues his untruthful recollection by claiming that Nick refused to put his hands behind his back, even though the officers were not applying pressure to Nick's arms. In the video, we can hear Nick telling the officers, who appear to weigh hundreds of pounds more than the small-framed man, that he couldn't, because Harris had straddled Nick while grinding his face into the pavement, and simultaneously, Officer Trout controlled his other arm and pushed his weight onto his back. We can then see Officer Harris adjust his mount and sit up, and it was at that moment that Nick's arm immediately snaps back to the small of his back. Nick was charged with public intoxication, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct. But the video made its way to social media, and the department issued a statement that they were aware and very concerned about the use of force incident, and that upon learning of it, they began an investigation into the level of force used by the officers. Harris was granted a paid vacation, pending an update once the investigation had concluded. Afterward, despite records from requests, the department never released their videos. But about a week after the incident, the department updated their earlier post and edited it to say that the investigation by Lieutenant Waterworth had concluded, and that because Officer Harris had failed to activate his body cam, he would be placed on a 22-hour unpaid vacation immediately following his paid vacation, and that he would receive further training on de-escalation and use of force. There were no charges for the officer's unnecessary violence, despite it appearing from the report that he wasn't even on duty at the time of the incident. Officer Tucker Harris was was working security for the nightclub. The department eventually requested that Nick's charges be dropped. Just a few months ago, Harris was commended for a small narcotics bust, and standing next to him appears to be Officer Faith Jankowiak, who is now Officer Hellman after marriage. She is alleged to be the lead officer from another video I posted from just 3 months ago, where Jonesboro officers tase and beat a handicapped man for not identifying himself, even after telling them his name.
What's your name? What's your name? I've already explained it. If I have to ask you again, you're going to go for obstruction.
So, man, you can ID yourself or you're going to go to jail. Which one?
What happened?
I've already explained it to you twice. So last opportunity before we take you out of the car and put you in cuffs.
My name said.
Hey, stay in the vehicle.
My name said so what?
What's your
I
last
just
name?
told you my name said.
Go ahead and get out.
I just told you my name. I
You're gonna
said
get
my
tased.
name is Cedric.
Put it behind your back.
I just
get
told you
tased.
my name.
I'm not going to tell you again. Roll over. Roll over.
Hey, hey.
Roll over.
I just
Watch
told
out.
hold
Watch
on,
out.
you asked me. He told
Get them. We got her.
What these officers don't know is that Washington has a metal rod in his leg. That after suffering a car accident and having his leg rebuilt at the Med in Memphis.
He's Put your legs Indian style so you can stay sitting up.
this leg do not bend at all.
He just said he's got a rod in his leg.
It turns out that those officers entered the wrong info when they were identifying him.
You're still lying.
Huh?
You're still lying.
I told you my brother.
An officer admits he entered the wrong information.
Make sure you are who you say you are, because I messed up your date of birth. That was my fault.
Here's what the police chief had to say about that incident.
At the end of the day, and it's what I tell people, comply now and complain later. If you're on a stop or in a situation when you're dealing with the police and you think it's inappropriate, comply with the officer, and then we have a complaint process.
After bonding out of jail, he was taken to NEA Baptist, where he was hospitalized for 3 days.
And in this case, despite the fact that there were multiple officers on scene, it appears that only one was punished, the lead officer. The department is ignoring the fact that all the other officers were there and failed to do anything to intervene, which is similar to this next incident. People all weekend have been emailing me about this one, telling me that it's the same Officer Harris from the first story presented. He now appears for his second and likely last appearance on the show. This is Billy Corum.
Corum was originally taken to St. Bernard's Medical Center Thursday after he said he swallowed drugs. Corum then reportedly left the hospital while he was awaiting transport to another state on felony escape charges. Officers later found Corum nearby and transported him back to the detention center.
During that transport, Billy begged officers to take him back to the hospital, as he alleged that he had swallowed narcotics.
I swear to God on my daughter's life, I've got sitting inside of me and they're trying to send me back to the jail where they're going to let me die. I don't give a fuck. Well, I'm telling you.
I don't give a fuck.
No, I'm saying I don't give a fuck what the hospital does.
Okay, cool. Well, then, whatever. I don't know what else you want me to do.
As the officers start driving, Billy begs them to turn back.
Sir, will you please listen to me? I have got inside of me. Last night, I swallowed. It's in aluminum foil, wrapped up. It's in a baggie. It's in aluminum foil, individually wrapped up in aluminum foil. I swallowed it yesterday. Look, they x-rayed me last night. The x-ray, listen, please listen to me. The x-ray machine, the screen, I could see the screen when he did the x-ray. I seen the package clearly right there. He's come in there, he said, well, we didn't find nothing inside you. I said, bullshit, I seen it on the screen myself. I said, can you bring the image in here and show it to me? He said, no. He said, I didn't send it out. So he took another one. This time they turned the screen away from me. Just come back and said the same shit. I kept telling every nurse to come by. I was like, I got on me, I got on me. They wouldn't listen to me. Finally, I got a doctor in there and I made her show me the screen and I showed it to her. They moved me to ICU. I have not went to the bathroom since. I have not went to the bathroom, period. I've got fit inside of me. I've been telling everybody, nobody's listening to me. Why are y'all not listening to me.
It's likely that the officers believed Billy's pleas were an attempt to get back to the ICU so that he could attempt another escape, or that they didn't care either way. Let me know how you feel down below.
Are y'all trying to kill me? Then why don't y'all listen to me? But you don't care. Huh?
Not really, no.
You don't believe me?
No.
All my daughter's life, I've got one daughter. She's 17 years old and she f***ing hates my goddamn guts. All my daughter's life, and the only thing I love in this f***ing world is her. I've got f***ing on the side of me. On this camera, I've got f***ing on the side of me, so when I f***ing die in the jail, it's y'all's fault. Huh? What'd you say?
Okay.
Y'all are a piece of shit. Why don't you believe me? Dude, I'm not lying to you. But you don't give a fuck. That's what you're saying. So you're gonna put me in jail and you don't give a fuck that I'm telling you this, and you're gonna let me die in jail. Huh?
A moment later, Officer Harris floors it.
What are you gonna do, wreck and kill me? Huh? What? You were doing the speed limit? I hate this shit. Can't fucking breathe, man. Huh? No.
But Billy was. The next moments will have to be blurred to appease the YouTube gods. Officer Harris then stopped the cruiser, as inmates are not allowed to hurt themselves. Only officers are allowed to do that. Harris immediately punches Billy 4 times, followed by 2 downward elbow strikes and 4 more lateral elbow strikes before removing the seatbelt. A second officer appears behind Harris about halfway through the brutal assault, but does nothing.
He's trying to choke himself.
Out. You all right? Billy, you all right?
When I was employed as a paramedic, we had several tools to determine whether a person is faking unconsciousness. Each tool is more aggressive than the last, and only the last one should use pain to assess how the patient reacts or doesn't. Typically, you would start with the least harmful and work up to the most, which is called the sternal rub. However, the sternal rub is effective enough with a single knuckle, rubbed into the center of a person's chest against the bone. Without a doubt, this caused visible injuries and should be classified as cruel and unusual punishment. Officer Harris then slams the door on Billy's head, trapping his neck between the seat and the door, and drives away, speeding around curves to cause Billy to slide around in the back seat. Perhaps Mr. Harris was upset because the department's DARE program seemed to have failed this man. When comparing photos of Tucker from 2022 to 2024, it appears he is much larger than he was when he first went viral. Perhaps the methods used to gain bulk in such a short period of time added to his anger management issues. Regardless, the department posted to Facebook regarding this incident and said that they were informed of a complaint of serious nature that necessitated prompt action, and that after viewing the incident, it was determined that Officer Joseph Harris should be terminated, effective immediately. Not arrested, definitely not charged, but fortunately, unlike last time he appeared on the channel, not a paid vacation either. Of course, the other officer that failed to act is not mentioned. Billy Corum, on the other hand, was charged the very next day for his attempted escape, proving once again that there is a defined class system that the criminal courts operate.
A Jonesboro police officer fired after he was caught on camera in his squad car beating an inmate. Meanwhile, Corum faces a third-degree escape charge for an incident that occurred prior to the events in the video. A judge set his bond at $25,000 cash only, and his next court date is September 27th. Mayor Harold Copenhaver released this statement saying, quote, "I've watched the video and I'm appalled because the officer's actions in that video are inexcusable. I'm upset and disappointed because we expect more from our officers. I fully support Chief Elliott's prompt action to terminate the officer. This kind of behavior will not be tolerated and merits investigation."
Thoroughly disgusted, appalled, and it's just like, what in the world are you thinking here? There was no pausing and stopping to think on what to do next. The obvious reason was this officer will be terminated. He ended up delivering fist blows. I thought, this is the wrong response. The response is get the man aid. This officer had conduct that was unbecoming, unprofessional, and it was conduct that I'm not going to tolerate, and the consequence is he was terminated.
At the end of the day, is what I tell people, comply now and complain later.
Chief Elliott told us that the information surrounding this incident has been turned over to prosecuting attorney Sonia Haygood for review. He also told us that he has been communicating with the FBI and that he was told that the FBI office in Little Rock has opened a case into the incident.
What the chief and the mayor say in their statements is utter crap. If they truly believed in what they were saying, Officer Harris would have been Mr. Harris the first time he went viral. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you like this video, share it to everyone you know. And check out another episode linked on screen.